Today is day 117 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is sponsored by an anonymous sponsor in the schus, in the honor and in the for the schus of Ziva Bas Sora Liba. If you would like to sponsor an upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, that'd be very much appreciated. Please contact me directly. Today is Siman Ayin Tes Sif Aleph until Siman Ayin Tes Sif Tes Ad Bichlal. And Ayin Tes, the sim we're about to start, is about Maya section is Damlot Sub Emsa Kriya. What happens if you have to defecate in the middle while reading Shema? Aleph, if the Beis Yosef said if there is human excrement behind you, you have to distance yourself 4 amos from the place where the odor ceases. Even if you have a disease such as the current in 2020 in early tough Shin Pei Aleph coronavirus, the novel coronavirus, as they would say, a disease which you cannot smell anything. You have to distance yourself 4 amos from the place where the smell would cease. Let me show for somebody who can't smell. The excrement in front of you, have distance yourself as far as the eye can see. I feel balayla, even at night. Suma, or even if someone is blind, Rahman al-Islam, so they does not see it. You have to distance yourself to a place you could not see it during the daytime. If it's on the side, his side, it's as if it's behind him. Same parameters. That's Ram Per Gimel. When it's behind you, you only have to go 4 amos away. And as far as the odor persists. You don't have to go 4 amos away from where the odor ceases. Most posting argue him because the Rambam Balachi here it's in brackets actually covers the Rambam Balachi based ala Charav. Whenever the Rambam writes Balachi based, it's on behind him. You'll be fun about passing by the pair of Loches Kimlo Enav. Rambam also gives it in front of you. It's as far as your eyes can see. Base. It was actually pasuk with Tzloim Kavi Karachov, and now it's the Rambam Paskins that on the sides it's like behind you. Sorry, it's actually the Beis Yosef Paskins. Now the Beis Yosef Paskins, the sides are like behind you. A Ken Pasak Rambam. That's how the Rambam Paskins Shem Din Hey. Ken Kosav Asmag. Yesh Mishloik Lamal Studim. In front of them. Those are going to say that on the sides is like in front of you. Ashkan Gabi Lulav Akum Pesukah, like we find that curved lulav, which is curved towards the back is okay. A lulav which is curved towards the sides is like it's curved towards the front, which is puzzle. Around the Rambam Meir, those who say this, who evidently is a Kesef Mishnah named Rabbeinu Manoach, say that the Rambam said about when you cannot get it behind you. Thus, having that then it's kind of like an onus, and it's as if it's behind you. And Mokum Shev Sharp, but a pass where you can get it behind you, having the front and the sides are like in front of you, much come on, simply after like we shall see in Sim Pei Aleph. Yesh Mishkosav, some say the Shikosav it's starting to the front of, having in front of on the sides towards the front of you is like in front of you. Shacharov on the sides towards the back of you, having Shacharov it's like behind you. Come on, like we see, but when it comes to Kohanim benching, giving the bracha to the community, that people who are on the sides of Kohanim but towards the front are considered to be in front of the Kohanim, people on the sides of Kohanim but towards the back are considered to be behind the Kohanim. That's the Mogen Avram. I don't understand all these comparisons. The lulav is not Lucas. Lulav has to do with Hadar. By Kohanim, it's because by standing in the wrong spot shows you do not lend significance to their bracha. But here the reasons are time mishum re'ila. There's also with lines of sight. In front of you, you're compelled to see it. But on the sides you don't necessarily see it. Furthermore, we find also, if you want to draw a parallel in terms of davening, to go in front of where it's also to be over lifnei mispalo. I have to tell you this past Rosh Hashanah. I was davening outside in front of a tent, and there was this guy walking back and forth in front of me throughout my Shemona Esrei and the Cantar Shemona Esrei on Rosh Hashanah with closed eyes because he had to look aside, and it was driving me a bit crazy. And I brought to mind and had to remember very, very powerfully what I once heard. One time, I think I heard Rav Volba speak in person in the base of Moshe Yerushalayim, saying that when entire davening can be shared during the Ilah because somebody is davening a little bit loudly next to them. And that person sends home the Ilah being annoyed that this guy next to them is davening a little bit too loud, and it ruins that person's Ne'ilah. Person who's busy being annoyed instead of davening the Kabbalah. So I tried to deflect my distraction or annoyance and focus specifically on the davening. But had I not heard those words from Rav Volpe many years ago, who knows how ruined my Shemona Esrei would have been. So it is really difficult when you have people walking in front of you. But the stadium, if it's behind you, then it's on side of you, that's okay. It's like behind you. Which time to come on Simon Kupes. The low diamond Simpei Aleph. It's not only Simpei Aleph, which is talking about the where it's a lot of Simpei Aleph. The Mechavkim Ben Efshar Lo Efshar. Where we distinguish between when it's possible, it's not possible. The Shani Lazim Shem Hatzah Kenegdo. There it's talking about, there you found the Tzah opposite yourself. Mukhrach L'Sur becomes, and you must go away from this place. But it's best to go backwards. Why should I do that? You see the action from behind you, from outside you. You don't have to remove your face from this place on that account. And therefore, we put it on its main. We put in the main category, which is as if it's behind you. In the brackets, that Litzadim is indeed like Acharov. The Mishnah brings in both opinions by Tzadim, that it's he says here by Tzom Shalafarm, which I guess is a little bit towards the front of you when he does not make a determination. But I say Chai Adam, that which you see without inclining your head in either direction, everybody agrees it's like in front of you. I guess we see with your peripheral vision. And he writes that even on this, if it's mamish on the sides, it's best to be careful to go somewhere that's going to be it's going to be now behind you as opposed to on your sides. Okay, Dalit. V'dan, you should know the Shemelu Dalit Amos Malayin up. The Shem for Amos, or the distance as far as I can see. K'mosh Yizbar, like we explained, is limits if the excrement is in a courtyard or a chov or in a street, or in a field of Korei Sham, and you're reading in one of these places. Or when you're at home. So in that room, there's excrement. The Daibar Choko say these distancings are suffice inside or outside. We don't say we don't say that since the man and the excrement are the same room. It's all like 4 hours. The Plus Karif and Rambam Matur Shalom Sim Pei Zayin. The law mean call Charabi Amos. We don't say the Torah was like 4 amos. Ayin Sham Afshar reads Geus. Plus Akshan Davi Amos Kumash Kosher Ben Yonah. Even though the Reid Geus seems to argue and holds it is like 4 amos. The whole rule is like 4 amos. Like Rabbi Yonah writes, B'Shmo Hidei Chida. It's a Das Yochid. Ayin Sham. As Mishnah wrote to Achshosh La'atzmo L'Dei Azeh Azu. Somebody wants to be concerned for this opinion. Mukhrach L'Tzeis Micheres Elagamrei. And indeed, he's got to leave this room altogether, or he can move the excrement over there, which is also a possibility. Hey, this is what the Ramah writes in Asif Aleph. The Shazzi so basically has advice. A Shleil Tzibur is diving in the shul or in the house. There's excrement there. I feel even if it's behind him and distance from him. He's got to be quiet until it is removed. Because there's a special circumstance because he's being motzi the rabbin. He's exempt them for their obligation. It's not possible one of the members of the congregation will not be within 4 hours. It's akal shomar, Klomar, meaning I feel even the Torah is behind the entire congregation. Nevertheless, some are going to be within 4 hours of the Torah. This is only an issue for the tzibur. The shots for himself, ancient chashash, he doesn't have a problem. Obviously, even though in the same room, every time she's bar, that even in the same room, the harchakas are the same as outside. Zesh kasav shir arba amos, which was measured for amos. Zeli makom shkol arech. That's one place where the odor stops. Also, if the excrement is between the tzibur and the shliach tzibur. Also, there's also no matter what, because then the interruption interrupts the connection between the shliach tzibur and the tzibur. Mishnah writes here that this is also true by Kriya Shema's brachas. Tzarchim. Not sure exactly what is true. And in terms of urine, if in the time you're saying Shema and its brachas, they're outside the framos of the shliach tzibur, you can definitely be lenient and you don't have to tell them about it. Nevertheless, the kohol should try to distance himself or cover it or spill water on it, because if not, they, knowing that it's there, cannot answer amen. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. Even though there's an interruption because of the excrement, and it comes out, each yachid is down on his own. No, it's not what it means to say. Maybe it's like this. Even though right now there's no obligation to have a tzibur, you're part of davening where there's no obligation, such as Birchas Kriya Shema, not like the Mishnah just wrote, or you're in some other place in davening like Birchas HaShachar. Even if it's a tzibur doesn't have to be bonded together at this point, still you have to answer the Birchas HaShachar. So therefore, if an interruption to tzibur in the shots, that's so good because you can't answer amen. Begam ain't kind of amen by Psulah, there's no being motzi and there's no amen to answer. With the shots, the shliach tzibur can say the davening when the tzor is behind him at the proper distance, as explained. When there's urine in the shul, and all the congregations for amos away from them, the shots has no problem davening in those conditions. Mishnah Berurah was down that we just mentioned, no? Oh, the Mishnah Berurah I just mentioned. Sorry, it's supposed to be here. That he says by Kriya Shema his brachas, he's not sure whether we what the status is. And in terms of Meiraglayim, like I say before, it's more than 4 amos away from the shots. You can still be makel not to tell him, and the kohol has to distance itself or cover it, whatever, in order that they should be able to answer amen. Sorry, I said it in the wrong place before. Gvav, it seems to me the Kli Mash is part of the similar pay base, as has explained as will be explained. It's in pay base. That said even excrement which is dry like pottery, shein bo reach ra, and then no longer has any bad smell. Usher, it's still usher to read in its presence. Can lead achrov and studying. And tzachik rak arba amos. While it has no reach, and therefore when it's behind you or on the sides, you don't have this is someone or 4 amos. I'm in front of ain't kiluk, but if it's in front of you, there's no distinction. Because even there's no smell, the prohibition is seeing it. So therefore there's no distinction between yesh bo reach, lein bo reach, whether it has an odor or not. That's true also about shul tzibur and shul. In l'kol tzibur having lacharem ruchakim arba amos, if for the entire tzibur it's behind them, and this is for amos, mutal ispal is allowed to daven k'mod b'meiraglayim shebiyanu, just like urine, like we explained. Zayin, afilim yesh tzor b'bayis, even if it's excrement in the house, el shum makom shacholik rishus b'yatzmo, that's a place which is separate by itself. Kol shu makom shagavo asar tfachim b'racham arba tfachim, it's like in rishus hayachim by itself. Even though it's in a house and all the houses one rishus agabe eruvin, but still it's technically speaking in a place which is 10 tefachim high and 4 tefachim wide. She still gives you shus hayachim, which is the definition of shus hayachim. Oshu makom amak asar b'racham arba, it's a place which is deep 10 and wide 4. A magilo misham reach, and there's no bad smell, but odor coming from there. Mutir kostad v'ishma in their room. Yeshim mishmati b'l ein rochav arba. Some people say it's okay even if it's not 4 fucking right, but if we go for govas, so it's only 10 fucking right. Ve'nikar. Arukh HaShulchan rejects this. It's got to have the dimensions of a true Rishus HaYachid. That's in the back of the Magev Meli Rabbah. The Exum is another room. For the ocean beside a Pesach, even sitting next to the opening. But the smell doesn't reach you. You can read it. Even though there isn't 4 Amos between you and Exum. Since it's in another Rishus, Karina Beba Yamachanecha Kadosh, you fulfill the parameters of having a holy encampment. Mishabur writes that if you're standing in a high place, 10 tvachim by 4 by 4 tvachim, and the excrement is below, that also counts. Not just the excrement is on a pedestal. You can be on a pedestal too. Mishabur also writes with the Eved, if it wasn't for 4 by 4 tvachim, you don't have to go back and daven, except if you want, as a Torah Nadava, was clearly making it a voluntary davening. Because of Machlekes HaKronim is a subject of Rabbanan, so therefore, if you're going to daven again, you have to make it clear that it's a voluntary davening. Ches, according to Rosh, when the excrement is in another Rishus, afilu mutar, afilu royal, so do not reach ma, even if you can see it, because it's a same base. The reason because for this is that he says because by Tzoah there's no halacha, you should not see anything which is inappropriate. Rather, say that you should have a holy camp. And Tzoah is in a different camp. However, Rashba Zal Sober the Baroa Osir. Rashba also as long as you can see it's Osir. So you got Tzoah yesh isud lo yirayah. Even by excrement, there's a prohibition of it shall not be seen. The primary halacha is like the rush, that'd be okay. Nevertheless, it's preferable to take the Rashba into account. The halacha writes that in Beis it seems that the Ikar halacha will like the rush, and the Olas Tamid writes the same thing. And from the words of Shulchan Aruch, it seems that he is more inclined to the rush, and so too wrote the Pekim Megadim, Neimach Latzvi, and the Eliyah Rabbah. And Chai Adam seems to hold that's a Sfeika the Dina, and that it's appropriate therefore to be Machmer. And Roshun basically says the same thing. It's about the Machmer. Roshun continues, find that seeming enough to close your eyes, like Sarapanav, to turn the direction. But Zegam Rashba Moda, even the Rashba agrees to this. In that situation, Moda, the Atzima say 9, close one eyes, or Balayla, or at night, Mahani, because it's in another room, again, which is it's another domain. Because the Rashba Lomani Atzima say 9. Some people write the Rashba does not work to close your eyes, or Balayla. Therefore, it's best to face the other direction. Shabura says, "B'shas adchak, you can't face another direction. You rely on those who hold of the lenient approach. But if you cannot see, and when you cannot see the excrement because of its height or its depth, everybody agrees in another room that it's okay." Test. That would show the bad odor should not reach you. The Ramatur wrote that in terms of the odor, the difference in Rishus doesn't help you. I actually will say that those of our rabbis should go the Mahani. They hold that it does work to be a different Rishus. The Mahani just works for excrement itself. It works for the bad odor. You don't have to go before almost away from the end of the odor. Mr. Pura brings down that Achroni Paskin like the first opinion. That doesn't work. But Lichora, the Arukh HaShulchan also says, he doesn't understand the second being that it works. But some stuff you can reach, it's still a bad smell. Very common Hasam, so there he wants to explain, then there's the Dino Kirei Achra no Ikar. It's like a bad smell which has no manifest source. Shei's Bar, the Mutter Tam Torah, we see, it's a Mutter Torah in those circumstances. Medir, I feel that Rishon, it seems, even according to the first opinion, you have to go far almost away from the place where the odor stops. The Shabur writes about this. You do need far almost to the place where the odor stops. But some people are Mako, who include the Arukh HaShulchan. It's always some kind of several too much or someone was in this room and they took it out of there. By the time you can still smell it. In other words, there's no source of some of the smell still lingering. Also, you can't reach out until the odor ceases. Since there was excrement in this room. V'she'enu meriach mutter. Somebody who doesn't smell it is permitted. Came lastly because the actual tzor is not there. Kol shkein k'shi b'rishus acher knows that saying there's a true when it's in another rishus. The mutter mishen meriach, especially to somebody who cannot smell it. The Mishnah Berurah writes about this that it is possible they can be meko b'shlas adchak. Okay, whatever. Again, how this can be on modern bathrooms really does not apply so much. And he brings down in the brackets here the Vivrei Levush Tzorech Iyun, but since there's Vivrei Levush, we don't know what's Tzorech Iyun, and that is all for this session.